They're really, really handy because they come in this little pod, so you can just throw one in your bag and not worry about it getting squashed. It's really good for travel, and it's also really good because if you have to insert an infusion set in an inappropriate place when you're out and about, you can just pop the lid back on and worry about the sharp when you get home, rather than with the other ones, like what do I do with the needle now? So I find that the Mio is a really handy set. I've used many of the infusion sets, and I think it's just because it's all in one go. It's less stages that you have to worry about. With other infusion sets, you have to load them into an insertion device. You've got to pull it back. They don't always sit properly in the inserter. If you haven't clipped it in properly, it drops out when you're trying to insert it, and it ends up being really fiddly. Whereas with the Mio, it's a set within an intuitive design to again make something else a little bit easier. And those tiny little steps that can make anything when you're dealing with diabetes that little bit easier is always a welcome development.
I think the Mios tend to be for people that are a slightly slimmer build. I think that's the idea, because they go in vertically, there's no angle, it's just a straight in application. It's in, I want to call it like an egg cup. I don't really know how to describe it other than that, but it's already built into an inserter, sorry. And yeah, you just place it over the skin and press it, and then it's in. So I think it's quite nice to just have the inserter built into it, because I know that when I think I had silhouettes before I was on that, I think there was a lot of worry about losing that extra piece of equipment, because if you didn't, you'd have to insert it manually, and that was never a very nice thought, really. So I think having the Mio just as an all-in-one was quite a nice idea, really, and I quite enjoy using those. So if I were to recommend another infusion set, I think a lot of it's down to personal preference and your shape. There's a lot more that goes into choosing an infusion set than just whether or not it looks nice, really. It's about how it feels in you, and whether or not it's going to be easy to insert and things like that. So I think as an overall flexible option, the Mio is probably a good idea. I don't know if they come in different lengths in terms of like the length of the needle, which I think they probably do. So with that in mind, it's probably okay. But yeah, I think a lot of it's down to personal preference, really. But if someone were to live a similar sort of lifestyle to me and we were of a similar build, I'd probably recommend Mios, yeah.